So just doing a quick little scene here. I got the one of the pistons and rods set up in the Turbo LS engine. So anyways, pistons in, correct orientation, and I just wanted to show you guys that I have the angle gauge on here, right here. I have it set up. Hope you can see that. So basically, both these fasteners have been torqued to 30 on the rod. So next step is we're gonna do 50 degrees on this rod bolt here. So I'll put the camera on my holder that goes on my head, and then we'll torque that or rotate that thing 50 degrees, and should be good. Okay, so we'll try to torque this or rotate this this thing here 50 degrees. As you can see here, it's on 0. So let's just get that there. So we got to go to right there. Actually takes quite a bit of force to turn this, so I don't know, we'll see. There's 50. Okay, so that's it. I'll rotate this guy a bit. And we'll do the other one. Rotates really nice, actually. Okay. So put this on. And this little stopper here, make sure it's against something solid. Right like that. Make sure this is at 0. Oh shit, let's just go around again. And we're gonna go 50. Gets really super tough, so you gotta be really careful here. Just like that, see? So after doing a little bit of research, I found out that the ARP 2000 rod bolts we're using, we can actually just torque them to 90 foot-pounds. The reason I'm doing that is because using the angle gauge, as you guys saw in the previous scene, it's just too unstable, and it's just not a good setup when you're doing it actually on an engine. It's okay if you're doing it in a vise here, but when you're doing it on the engine like that, it's just too unstable. And I already kind of just stripped that one bolt. So basically, what I did is I just torqued it to like 90 foot-pounds, and as you can see here, so this is the ARP 2000 steel alloy at 220,000 psi tensile strength. Then you go over here to this chart, and 7/16, and it'll be this guy here, so it's 90 foot-pounds. So yeah, so we're just going to use that, and it's going to be a lot easier instead of playing with the angle gauge and all that bullshit. So so next scene I'll put the camera on my head here and see how that goes. So just putting the piston in, and again, orientation, valve reliefs towards the lifter valley, and again the big chamfer is going to be towards the throw of the crank. But you set that up when you're installing the pistons on the rod, so make sure you pay attention to that. If you feel any resistance here, stop and take it off, because you don't want a ring to break on the top of the block there. There we go. So again, really small taps, and if you feel any resistance, take it off because you don't want to get a ring caught up in here and it breaking. It's happened to me before. Because you don't want to nick that crankshaft. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll super carefully okay, one more thing. What you want to do, let's get some lube on that throw there. There we go. Actually, what we could do is we could probably rotate this sucker right into position. A screwdriver. Okay, so we're holding the rod here. Okay, so it's in position there, so there's a tap up so it seats. Okay, so now it's butted up against the throw there. Actually, let's just do this here. Bring it right to the top, like so, and then just okay, so there we go. It looks like it's seated. So go grab our cap. And again, these are the used bearings. Our bolts. Some of this. Make sure and apply it liberally, so it's always good to have more than not enough. So I marked these already here, dot to dot. And again, just verifying big chamfer towards the fillet of the crankshaft or the throw. So basically small chamfer to small chamfer. So there we go. So I'm using this lube that these guys gave me with the rods, with the K1s. It's just supposed to be some kind of extreme pressure lube, so we'll use it since it came with the rods. Probably use the ARP lube too, just as good. But we'll use this stuff here. Under the head, on the threads. So again, we're going to 90 foot-pounds here. Then we're going to check side clearance. So 90 foot-pounds. So we'll go to 50. And then 90. Let's just see how this goes here. $50, $50, $50, $50. Okay. $60. 70, 80, 90. So let's just see how this goes here. So that's 90. So you want to be, see how it's moving? There's 90. There's 90. 90. 90. Perfect. That'll work. Rotates nice. And I'll show you guys, this is where the socket fell off the fastener here. I stripped it a little bit. So that's why I'm using torque method versus torque and angle, because again, it's just not stable. So this works way better. Looks like it rotates nice. And the side clearance is good. I can tell already. Looks like it's about 25 thou. Yeah, that's fine. Perfect. But we'll double check just to make sure what our side clearance is. What did I say, 25? Yeah, it might be a little bit bigger than that. Yeah, I think it's about 25. Let's see. So here's the 25. No, a little bit smaller. I think 22. Yep, 22. So 23 doesn't go into 22. Yep, 22. So side clearance is 22. Not much you can do about that because it's just the way the crank journal is machined and the width of the rods. If you don't have enough, well, you can always grind the rods a little bit, make them smaller. But I think we're good. So you got 22 thou rod clearance. Small chamfer to small chamfer, big chamfer towards the crank throw, big chamfer towards the crank throw, and again 90 foot-pounds on each of these. That's good. Well, super easy to rotate this. It's nice. So just wanted to shoot a quick scene here. The pistons are all now in, and as you guys know, what we did is we didn't use the torque angle method. We used the we just torqued them down to 90 foot-pounds. Another thing I also wanted to show you guys is the reluctor wheel. There's a tolerance on this thing, and it should be within 30 thousandths of an inch run out. So basically, what you do is you put a dial gauge on the end of it. Well, that's the spec, anyways. It'll probably still work if it's a little bit more than that. But the recommended run out that they got is 20 thou. So what I did is this was a little bit out, and I just took a mallet here, the rubber mallet, and I just basically just tapped it until I got within, I think I'm within 15 now. So I'll put the camera on there so you can see it, but now if you turn it, yeah, so basically, yeah, so we're within 15 thousandths now, so that's good because the spec is 20 thou. Actually, you might even be within 12 or 10. That's actually pretty good. It's going like from 98 to a maximum of 11 thou. So yeah, we're within 15 thousandths. So again, I just took my mallet and just tapped it a little bit and turned it, and then I got closer and closer to 0 or less than 20, and got it within spec. So that way we can rule out any problems with the reluctor once we have this engine assembled. So just a better angle here, show you guys the needle there. As I'm rotating this. There you see it's within about 10 thou there, so that's actually not bad. And again, I just used my mallet just to tap it. It was a little bit out of spec, but I think we are good now. So another thing I wanted to show here with this LS engine, 6 liter, is the pistons are all now installed with the rods. Everything's torqued to spec. Rings are in. I just wanted to show another good way to verify that everything is okay on your rotating assembly is to see how much torque it takes to actually rotate it once everything's in there. So I remember my old big block, it took about 40 foot-pounds, and I think the number was about 5 foot-pounds per hole. And if you're about 40, everything is probably correct. So with this engine here, it's actually taking a lot less. So for example, let's just we'll just adjust this torque wrench here. We'll go to 20. Start there. See what happens. Yeah, so there it goes. See, so it takes it's going to take a little bit more than 20 to turn it because it's starting to turn over. So we'll go to 22. Yeah, see, look at that. 22. It's not clicking. No, it is. So it's clicking at 22. Let's just go to 23. And if we can get it to rotate without clicking, that means it's taking 23 foot-pounds to rotate this engine over. No? Well, it's going to be close because Yeah, actually, you know what? It's 22 because it's not clicking. So 22 foot-pounds to turn this thing over. A lot less friction than my old big block, so that's actually good. Yeah, so we're at, well, actually, sorry, that was 23. 23 foot-pounds to turn this over without clicking. So we can assume that everything is good, and there should not, hopefully, be a problem once this is assembled. So that concludes the piston and rod installation video. Hope you learned something and hope you enjoyed the video. Next video we're going to be doing is we're going to install a camshaft and the oil pump. And again, thanks for watching.